Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Terry, and I am reporting live from the Democratic Activists for Women Now event live in San Jose, and I'm really excited to be at this event where we will talk to board members and just find out how the women in San Jose, California are uniting and coming together to encourage women to run for political office and how they're taking a stand against the current administration and policies and against women.
I was actually watched Bill Maher last night.
Okay, here I'm throwing in some of these for you guys.
Okay, that'd be the best way. But
I have both. I have the. Those are $8.
because they forget. So any old member who pays up today for this year gets a raffle ticket. New member for today, $35.
We're just going to kind of intimate. Great, thank you. All right.
I'm standing here with Carol, one of the original members of Dawn, one of the original founders of Dawn. And Carol, could you just give us a little bit of history? Why was the organization founded? What are the goals and what are the priorities of Dawn?
Sure. We started in 1991. We worked on the Barbara Boxer campaign, the year that Bill Clinton also ran for president. And a bunch of women in Santa Clara County got together, Democrats, and we worked on Barbara's campaign, and we were so excited and proud of ourselves and her when she won that we decided we were not going to disband, we were going to stick around and keep on going. And then we formed Dawn, Democratic Activists for Women Now. We're officially a club, a Democratic club under the umbrella of the Democratic Party, but we endorse candidates. They have to be Democratic pro-choice candidates. We will endorse men and women as long as they are pro-choice, Democratic, pro-women and family and feminists. But we will only give our money to women. We have fundraisers, and all the money, almost all the money we raise goes to those campaigns.
That's great. And if somebody wanted to know more about Dawn, how they can join, could you just tell us on the website?
It's Santa Clara SCC.Dawn.org. We have lots of information.
Thank you. And what do you hope to accomplish today from the rally, from the event, from today's meeting?
We want to get more members. We want to get more people involved. We want to get people activated and joining and coming together and working for our causes.
Awesome. Thank you. So you heard it here. They want more people involved and more people active. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
So not only do we have organizations here today, but we have a lot of folks in government, elected officials that are supporting the work that we do. And this is so important because policy impacts everyone. And it could be at the city level, at the county level, at the state level, at the federal level. And there are a lot of nonprofit organizations that work on advocacy, and there are other groups that are able to help financially, which is also very important. And I just wanted to shout out all the elected officials that are here. We have Omar Torres from the Franklin McKinley School District, Susan Ellenberg from the San Jose Unified School District. It's so great that so many people showed up. It was a little bit overwhelming, but I'm really glad everyone's here today. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, and there are certain organizations that do specific things, and which is fine. I think we can all do great things in different areas.
At that time, the board gave direction to the county to be able to do a couple of things. One of them was to put money aside for people who were victims of mass deportation. We had already in our county set money aside for legal representation for children who were unaccompanied minors and for DACA recipients. But we're adding on, because we can do that again at a local level.
Exciting it is to be here. I was at the Women's March, and of course, the looming question is always meetings with me, and I appreciate the energy and the passion and the fierceness that you're bringing with you, not just today, but every day as we're battling some really uphill battles, in my opinion. But what I love, and is Cindy gonna stick around or is she gonna leave? Oh, there you are. What I love is, and Cindy and I were just talking about this in the back, I'm glad we can push administration, we can push our elected officials in DC. We definitely need to push our state officials, whom I think are doing a fantastic job in leading this country to stand up for our values and our principles and our families and our women and our transgender community.
Incredibly moved to see the group here that's shown up, and I think as Magdalena said, as Cindy said, I think we are seeing a surge of power and motion from all of this community, and I'm incredibly excited to be here to share a little bit about what Planned Parenthood's doing and to work with you on getting us together to do this work. I think I'm excited and thankful that Planned Parenthood was allowed to be highlighted a little bit. I know that we are often at the sort of helm of the fight on reproductive rights and reproductive justice. And so I want to tell you a little bit about what we're doing, about what we're facing. It's a very potentially devastating outcome that we could see if Congress has its way. Family Pact, which is a state program that covers family planning services for a large community of people, both men and women. If Planned Parenthood is not allowed to receive reimbursements for the services we provide through that program, that would mean a loss of benefits and services. California, all told, the reimbursements for all the services we provide totals about $260 million. For all Planned Parenthoods across the country, it's $500 million, so California makes up over half of the reimbursements. We serve that many people in the state. 800, not only is Congress vowing to stop Planned Parenthood from continuing to provide these preventative, primary and reproductive health care services, they also want to take away funding from other community clinics in the state of California who provide services for people, reproductive health care services. There's different states. In the state of California, it means about $60 million, and another probably 70 million kinds of services. So IUDs and other kinds of birth control that can be expensive, we're able to provide in a subsidized way to a lot of individuals. And so this is another huge potential loss and another proposal that the feds are moving forward with.
I grew up as a Southern Baptist girl going to church every Sunday, and I didn't get a chance to go this morning, but I'll tell you. What I tell my mom when she always calls and asks if I went to church, I say, well, Mom, you got to get in where you fit in, you got to get it where you can. And for me, being in a room like this with fierce, fabulous, wonderful women who are determined to change the world is how I get my weekly inspiration of joy and love and inspiration. So I want to thank you for the opportunity. 3 weeks ago, I quit my job as the executive director of Emerge California. I've spent the last 7 years living my passion, recruiting, training, and grooming the next generation of female political leadership here in the great state of California. We're in the world in terms of female representation at the federal level. We are behind countries like China, Afghanistan, Indonesia, and Serbia. And at this rate, it will take us about 106 years before we will reach parity. I heard Cindy talk about being the only woman on a 5-member board of supervisors. Unfortunately, that is not a rarity here, even in California. A full third of our boards of supervisors only have 1 woman. Another third have 2 or fewer. And so there is a lot of work to be done here, even in California. We went from 26% to 22%, ladies. Here in California, even we are going in the wrong direction in terms of getting more women elected to office. What you get on the other side is policy and legislation that is more fair, more equitable, and more just for the entire community. You heard Cindy talk about creating model legislation that they want to start at the county level and then roll down throughout the cities and then use across the rest of the state. You heard Magdalena talk about closing loopholes in anti-rip control ordinances. We do the work we do at Emerge California not just to get those women seated at those tables. I've spent the last 7 years doing the work that I have been doing at Emerge. We've been able to double the size of the program. We've expanded statewide. What was just an organization that serviced 7 or 8 counties here in the Bay Area is now a statewide organization that is servicing the entire state. We have a program here based in Oakland that services Northern California, another program down based in Los Angeles that's servicing Southern California. What is now Northern California will become the Bay Area, because those of us who have visited this great state know that there is truly a Northern California part of the state. And so we will have a Northern California program that services Sacramento all the way up to the Oregon border, the Bay Area program, a 3rd program in the Central Valley, and a 4th program in Southern California. Between those 4 regions, we look to be training upwards of 200 women every single year.
I have Lupe Rodriguez here, and Lupe is the Director of Public Relations for Planned Parenthood. And Lupe, if you could just tell us what the impact would be as far as Congress defunding Planned Parenthood. Like, what would that mean, and what exactly should people do to get involved to help the cause right now?
Well, as you mentioned, Congress has put forth a proposal to defund Planned Parenthood, and what that means practically is actually that they would just stop Planned Parenthood from being able to provide services to people who depend on the Medicaid programs in California and across the country. And, we're not a line item in the federal budget. We get reimbursed like any other healthcare provider for the services that we provide to people. And since we see over 87% of the people that we see depend on some kind of Medicaid program in California, things like Medi-Cal and Family Pact, those people would lose access to the services that they now get through Planned Parenthood if this proposal were to go through. And, it's a big myth that Planned Parenthood is kind of a line item in the budget. I think that's the first thing that I want to clarify. And I think people, sharing that information is very important. I think the impact, as I said, is 87% of the patients that we serve in California. That would mean 800,000 patients. Across the U.S., it would mean 1.5 million people who would lose access to health care. And it's all for services that are preventative and reproductive health care and primary care, so all prevention. And we're really concerned about that. I think what people can do is call their congressman. I think it never hurts to call your congressperson and tell them you stand with Planned Parenthood and you want to protect these services if you do. I think it's also important for people to disseminate this information amongst their circles and talk about what it means and the impact. I mean, it's a huge impact. Again, 800,000 patients can lose health care in California, and 200,000 locally. I mean, it's a huge number of people, and so I think that's important. I think people can also go to our I Stand with PP website. And through that website, you can sign up to receive updates, and you can sign up for the campaign, basically to know when you can call your legislators, to know things that you can do and actions to take, and basically when things are coming down the pipeline. So those are some ways.
Great, thank you. So you heard how you can get involved. What's the website again? I
stand with pp.org.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you so much, Lupe, and just keep fighting, and we're going to help get the word out. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
For having me.
Thank you. I am standing here with Cindy Chavez, who is with the County Board of Supervisors. And basically, Cindy, what can people do just to get more involved? You made a very impactful statement. You said people just need to show up, speak up, and just not be fearful. What would you encourage people to do just to get more involved in this current political climate and just everything that's going on, not just nationally, but locally? What can people do in the local
So the
community?
first thing is there are so many opportunities to join boards and commissions and to be parts of nonprofits. And all you have to do is go online for any local government, look up the area you're interested. So if you're interested in parks, look at that commission. If you're interested in planning, look at that commission. If you're interested in the arts, look at that commission. You can join the board of a nonprofit. You can go be a volunteer. You can write letters to the editor. You can comment on news articles. You can show up to meetings. And when you know there's going to be a rally, get your tennis shoes on and go out. And one of the things I think is so critical is that we are only limited by ourselves. You know, and it's funny, sometimes we act like, oh, we're being held back. No, don't hold yourself back in advance of someone else doing it. And that's how you make change.
Absolutely. So basically, you're saying it's fairly easy for someone to become involved, sign up for a commission. So when you say go to the website, are you meaning the city of San
You
Jose?
can go to the city of San Jose or the county of Santa Clara. So what I'm saying is no matter where you live in the city of Campbell, every one of them have hundreds of positions that they fill every other year or every year to make sure that we're covering all these things. So all you have to do is look at the place you live, walk out your front door and say, what can I do? And then reach out. And the other thing is, if you're not sure what to do, get a mentor. Right? Get someone who you're looking at and say, you know what? I want to do what they're doing.
Awesome.
And find out what they're doing and how they started doing it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So it's quite simple. Get a mentor, sign up to be on the board, sign up for a nonprofit. So it's very simple to get involved in community activism, because I think a lot of people, like myself, think that it's hard, but it's easy. So I like what you said. Just put on your tennis shoes and just move.
And if you need help, find somebody who's, like I said, who's already doing it. Send them an email. Say, I want to meet with you. I want to have coffee because here's what I'm interested in.
Awesome.
Help me do it.
Thank you so much.
What an honor to talk to you.
Thank you. It was an honor meeting you. If you could just tell us, what is the major priority of Dawn right now? And for someone who's never heard of Dawn, what would you tell them in terms of just giving them more information about the organization?
Sure. So Dawn is a women's democratic club in this region, and actually I don't think there are a whole lot, but I recently heard of a women's democratic club in Santa Cruz. But what we do, our main priorities are to elect more qualified women into office, and that's local office, city, county, special districts, school boards, state assembly, state senate, Congress, U.S. Senate. It actually started when Barbara Boxer was running for U.S. Senate. Maybe Carol Kay told you a little bit about it. But we have an endorsement process, which basically is a political stamp of approval as our political organization. And we get requests from all over, all those government levels, and sometimes we get requests from outside of the state or outside the county, our neighboring counties. I guess just because there aren't a whole lot of women's organizations out there. And we support both male allies and female candidates, but we only financially contribute to women. And we mainly collect our funds through our annual Women's Equality Day fundraiser in August, and then membership. So with those funds, with women, a lot of times it's difficult to ask for money. And so fundraising is the most challenging part about running a campaign. And they say early money is like peace. So we try to support women early so that they can grow their campaign and their support base. And sometimes we're able to organize volunteers to work with candidates, and we also work with the county party to do that. And we also recently, actually in 2015, we partnered with the County Democratic Party to pass a resolution for equal representation among elected officials in this county. And our goal is to elect, right now, actually, we did a report in 2015, and the number of female elected officials was about at 42%. There were so I'll give you a little quick breakdown of that report. City councils were about at 32% women. Special districts were probably the worst. They're like hospital districts, the water district, and some other ones that are a little bit obscure, which is probably why nobody really knows a lot about it. It's like 28%. And school boards actually, women care a lot about education. So K through 12 school boards are at about 54%, which is the highest. And community college districts, a little under 50, 49, and we said city council. So we have a lot of work to do, and we have, Dawn works with the county party chair to select the director for the gender equity and status of women role, and we formed a committee to hopefully get to that goal of 50% by 2020. So we do a lot of things. We have workshops for running campaigns because it can be a challenge if you are interested and you don't know anything about how to run a campaign or how to raise money. And so we work with some either consultants or leaders in the community that are experts in this. We have a lot of very strong, fierce women that have run a ton of campaigns and they've been very successful. And we partner with organizations to do events like these.
Awesome. That's great. So if someone wanted to get involved with Dawn, if you could just tell them one more time your website to look you guys up.
Sure. So our website is sccdawn. Let me spell that out for you. sccdawn.org, and we also are probably more active on our Facebook page, which is Facebook, and then our handle is SCC also. So you're welcome to join the membership, participate in our Facebook page. We have board meetings every month, but our entire membership, we have meetings about 3-4 times a year, but we may have a lot more considering events like these. So.
And this has been a wonderful turnout, so I just want to thank you for allowing us to come out. This has been great, and thank you so much for organizing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The subject is my good friend Perez, and he's urging us Dr. Perez, barely named baby. So let's say
it's time to come together. That Donald Trump could actually pull off the election in light of how he ran his campaign. And so many friends, we could spend hours on that. But so I just I'm also in some other they like to call it resistance organizations. I'm a little nervous about the resistance name, not because I'm not at all afraid, but I know of people who wouldn't join. So this is one of the things that I think those organizations have to think about if you want to broaden your membership. So I don't personally, I cannot feel
2, 3, and action.
Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Real Talk with Terry, where we were here at the Dawn event, which means Democratic Activists for Women Now, where we learned all about community organizing and just what we can do as everyday citizens to get involved in the political climate and get involved in making a difference in our community. So again, if you want more information about Dawn, Democratic Activists for Women Now, feel free to go to their website. Feel free to look up resources on community organizing through the city of San Jose or the county of Santa Clara, and just get involved and move and be active in the community in which you live. So again, thank you for tuning in to Real Talk with Terry, and until next time, remember, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is the present. That's why they call it a gift.